Okay, students. Good morning. How are you? So we are continuing our chapter Lifeline of National Economy. Right. We are discussing about the Indian Railways. We have completed the roadways. Now we are discussing about Indian Railways. Yesterday we discussed about few headquarters of the Indian Railways, and we saw that Indian Railways are divided into 16 zones, nothing but headquarters. Why it has been done? Because of for the proper administration. Like in our country, entire India is divided into 28 states and 9 union territories. For the proper administrations and development and all, to have the regional development and all, like that only our Indian Railways are also divided into 16 zones to have proper administration, proper maintenance and proper work. Okay, now, and we discussed the various headquarters like Gorakhpur North-Eastern Railway, okay, Delhi Northern Railway, Mumbai Western and Central Railway, okay, like that we have total 16 zones of Indian Railways.
It is government of the center.
Yes, it is central government.
What about the states? Sometimes central government give the authority to the state.
What?
Sometimes the central government give the authority to the state to take the center.
Yes, we have. Actually, it is central level, but again we have state. Okay, means at the state level also some ministers are there to take care of the local areas. Okay, now, but railway is a central government. Okay, it comes under union list. Okay, railway, Indian Railway, defense. Okay, foreign affairs. Okay, currency, banking and communication. This all comes under the union list. So railway also comes under the central government. Okay, next. Our country is a subcontinent. India is a subcontinent. It has the features of subcontinent. Okay, we have mountains, plains, plateaus, desert, okay, coastal lines, various forest areas, okay, swamp areas, marshy areas, everything we have. Okay, so it is not possible for our Indian Railway to construct or lay its track in each and every of these. It is a challenging task for the Indian Railways. Okay, see. If you see in the northeastern states like Arunachal Pradesh, Manipur, okay, Nagaland, Tripura, in these areas still Indian Railways have not reached. Okay, and Jammu and Kashmir in northernmost part, okay, Ladakh region and all we don't see. Again, we don't see in the desert of the Rajasthan. Okay. And we Maharaja Express, okay, but that is the tourist one. Okay, next if you see the swamp and marshy tract of Kutch and Bhuj in Gujarat. Okay, next so many challenging, like in this area there are a problem of sinking the tracks. Okay, maintenance, repair, cost repair and all is very high. See, when the railway track is laid down in the hilly and mountain area, okay, there is always problem of landslides and all. Okay, so these all are problems will be faced. Okay, so mostly in plains we see we have very good network, dense network of Indian Railway. Uttar Pradesh has the largest railway network in India when compared to any state in India. Uttar Pradesh has the largest railway network. Okay, because it lies in completely plain area. Okay, but another challenge in this area is of construction of the bridges, because we have so many rivers, canals, tributaries, small rivers and all we have now. So construction of the bridges on these rivers and canals is a challenging one. Okay, so Indian Railways face a lot of challenges because of the geographical feature and condition of our country. Okay, it is not unique or similar throughout the country. It is challenging one. Okay, apart from that we see there are other problems of Indian Railway, like we see maximum number of passengers they use Indian Railway in India. Okay, train. Many of them travel without ticket. That is a lost railway or not. Second thing, frequently we see people in different regions of our state, mostly when the in rural areas and all certain area we see frequent chain pulling. So problem because of that, slow down, disturbance in the timetable of the train, timing will be disturbed, train may not reach on time because of one train, so many other trains will be delayed which are coming on that route. Okay, these are the problem happens. Apart from that, breaking, spoiling, damaging the railway property, this is also a major problem of our country. So we have to overcome all this. Public property is for the public. We all are public. It is for our betterment, for our use. So we have to think in that way that if we damage the public property, it is lost to us only, directly or indirectly. It is lost to public only. The government may increase certain prices of the ticket or certain commodities and all. They may get back those losses, and that loss is also taken from our pocket only, from our money only. Okay? Yes, Ayush?
Indian railways are coming under central, but if moving to from the states, then state are taking the tax from the central government. Or
Already I told no, the tax from where you have to take is divided. Which government, central government or state government, from where they will take the tax, it is completely divided. Okay, there is no misunderstanding or there is no clashing from where they have to take tax. It is completely divided. Which area comes under the central government, from where they will take the tax, and from where the state government has the right to take the tax. Okay, so railway completely comes under the central government. Okay, now next. After railway, we have another challenging task. Next, more means of transport is pipeline. Okay, it is a new transport system. It is a new means and mode of transport system in our country. We all know that we have various oil refineries in our country. Okay, we have various LPG or CNG gas plants in our country. We know that various industries are industrial zones are SEZ, special economic zones have been set up in the country where we find various industries. They require certain fuel like petrol, diesel, gas and all for their working of machineries and all. Okay, so these all the zones, industrial zones and the refineries, they are connected with these various pipeline. Okay, the initial maintenance cost or the establishment cost of this pipeline may be very costly, but once it get established, later, okay, the cost prices becomes very less. Okay, otherwise we have to transport all these things through tankers, roadways or railways. Okay, it is very so there every time we have to pay transportation charges and all. Okay, there is lot of risk during the transportation, theft, leakage, accident, so many risk is there or not. But during in pipeline, once it is established, laid down, later the maintenance cost only will be there. Okay, the transportation cost almost becomes zero. Okay.
By the private sector and the government sector both.
Yes, but major no, not private sector, government sector only. Private sector, they may take the advantage. You can say they may take the benefit of this. They may utilize this facility, but it is laid by the government only, not private. Okay, it is this pipeline is maintained by the government only. Public comes under public sector only, but we have various private industries and all. No, they may take advantage. They may have connection of this pipeline in there. See, mostly fertilizer industries and all, they require gas and all. Okay, so they have certain connections. There are certain private iron and steel industries and all, they have this pipeline. What they do, mostly we have to export this iron ore and all. No, so these are they are having pipeline connection from the industries to the seaport and all. Mostly coastal states like Karnataka you take, Odisha you take, West Bengal you take, they have pipes. So slurry form, in the form of slurry, molten one, okay, they will transport, okay. Later it becomes crude one and then they will, okay, so that the transportation charges will be less, minimized to avoid, okay, to avoid the losses and all, to increase their profit, to maximize their profit pipeline. We have various current like Barauni and Mathura, okay, in in Gujarat, various so many oily families we have, okay, na? All these are connected through each other and they are even connected to the industrial region. So pipeline are the latest arrival. It is very very important for MCQ. Question comes. The gas transport is the latest arrival in the means of transport. Pipeline is the latest arrival among all these. It is the recent one which has been arrived in the Indian transport system. Okay, it is not for men, only for the material. Okay, we use railways, roadways for both men and material, but pipeline only for the goods and material, not for the men. We cannot supply men through pipeline. Okay, na? Next, after pipeline, the next one is waterways. Very very important and the most cheapest means of transport, waterways. We have two types of waterways in our country, inland and overseas. Okay, because our country is a land of rivers. We have so many rivers, almost in every state we have rivers. We have perennial and seasonal rivers. Perennial rivers are those rivers which carry water throughout the year, which have source in the Himalayas and glaciers and all, okay, like Ganga, Brahmaputra, Yamuna, okay. But South Indian rivers all are seasonal rivers, like Godavari, Kaveri, Krishna, they are all seasonal rivers, okay? Narmada and all seasonal rivers. But these rivers also, in certain areas, they carry water throughout the year, in coastal areas and all. So we have inland waterways from Allahabad to Haldia, River Ganga, Allahabad to Haldia. National waterway number 1, Allahabad to Haldia. It is there in the book, you can see. Second one is from in Assam. Okay, in Assam you find from Sadia to Dubri or Dubri to Sadia. Okay.
Between the Sadi and the sea.
On Brahmaputra river. Both are in Assam only. Both are in Assam only. Okay, na? But this one, national waterway number 1, Allahabad to Haldia. Haldia in which state? Odisha. Where is Haldia? Odisha or West Bengal? West Bengal. West Bengal. Okay. So apart from that, we have various canals in our country. Okay, they are also used. Okay, like Pulicat Lake. Okay, we have Chilka Lake. We have Koleru Lake. These lakes are also used for the waterways. Apart from that, in Kerala, like we have lagoons, backwaters. Okay, they are also used for the inland waterways in many parts for 2, 3, 5, 10 kilometers and all. They have been used for the inland waterways. Apart from that, our country is a coastal. Okay, our country is a peninsular country. We have totally 9 states in India which share water body. Okay, 9 states. Take Gujarat, Maharashtra, Goa, Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Odisha, West Bengal. 9 states are there in our country which share the border with the ocean and sea. Okay, so we have total around 12 seaports, major 12 seaports, and there are many minor seaports also on this from east and west. 6 on the west coast and 6 on the east coast. Okay, on the west coast 6 and the east coast 6. See, we see Kandla in Gujarat. Kandla seaport is there in Gujarat or not? Next we see Mumbai. We have 2 seaports. Okay, one is Jawaharlal Nehru seaport, one is Mumbai seaport. Okay. Next we have in Goa, Marmagaon seaport in Gujarat. Sorry, Goa. Next we have Mangalore seaport in Karnataka. Okay, Cochin seaport in Kerala. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One in Gujarat, two in Maharashtra, Mumbai, three, fourth one in Goa, fifth one is in Bangalore, Karnataka, and sixth one in Kerala. So 6 on the west coast. Now we have Tuticorin in Tamil Nadu. Tuticorin is there. Next we have Chennai. Then we have Visakhapatnam. Then we have Paradip, Haldia, and Kolkata. So 6 on the east coast. These are the 12 major seaports. Okay. Now, because of these major seaports, we have very good, trading and overseas business, or we can say overseas trading with various countries, which makes India one of the fastest growing economy, okay, in the world. So, not only inland waterways, overseas waterways also help in the smooth flow of the goods from one nation to another nation. Okay, and they are also providing employment to many people, employment generating. Okay, apart from that, we are able to export and import various goods, minerals, okay, things from our country. We can export and we can import from other country. This enable in the flow of trade, okay, from one country to another country. Okay, now, so next after waterways, next comes airways. Yes. Airways, see, like waterways, airways also have very good network in our country. Almost every state we have airport, either maybe domestic or international. Okay. Airways, we have two type of airways in our country: national and domestic. Domestic and international. Okay. Now, we have two type of airport and we have two type of air services: domestic air services and Indian and international air services. We have Air India or Indian Airlines, which provide both domestic and international air services. Apart from that, we see various other private sector airlines are also operating in our country, like Indigo, Jet. Okay. Apart from that, various other countries airline are also operating, like British Airways, okay, Lufthansa, our Arab Emirates. Okay. Like this, we find various other countries, okay, airlines also operating. Now, you see in our Gorakhpur city also, we have airport. Okay, we have, and one is in Kushinagar is being constructed, and recently within 2-3 days another plant in Guria Park, okay, very near to this Kajni and all, okay, another airport has been, plan has been laid for the third airport. Okay, now that area also, the Gida has been expanded beyond Kajni, you know that area also. Yes. So you may see that third airport also coming very soon in future. Okay. So like that we have various major airports. It is very important for map pointing. Okay. Like Amritsar, you see Raja Sansi International Airport, Amritsar. You can see in your book map. Okay. Next, West Bengal, Kolkata, Subhash Chandra Bose International Airport, Indira Gandhi National Airport, Delhi. Like that we have Chhatrapati Shivaji, Mumbai, Rajiv Gandhi International Airport, Hyderabad, Meenambakam Airport, Chennai. Okay, so like this we have various international airports in many cities of our country. So our states and cities in India, they are well connected with the not only roadways, waterways, even airways also. We are very good, and it is one of the fastest growing sector. Airways, one of the fastest growing sector. Okay, in future we may see many people, in order to avoid the time, to save their time, will be using only airways to go from one place to another place within the country, not only beyond the country. Okay, foreign countries we are using only airways, but within the country, okay, it will become very convenient, because when number of airlines will be operating on a large scale, and number of airports comes, automatically the price come down, like how the prices of the roadways and railways have come down because of more number of passenger vehicles and trains have increased. Similarly, when the more number of airlines start operating, the prices will come down, because there will be competition among themselves. Okay. So apart from that, we see various other private services also in the railway, like Pawan Health Helicopter. Okay, they provide services, private sector services in various regions, northeastern region or northern part of India. If you see, if you want to go to northeastern part of India, Arunachal Pradesh, Sikkim, or Manipur, Tripura, and all, you have to use either roadways or airways. Mostly people use the airways, because the topography of that area is not convenient to make proper railway. So mostly people use airways. Okay, so Pawan Hans Helicopter, they provide the private sector, okay, operating sector in the airways. So student, that's all for the today. We have discussed about railway, waterway, pipeline, airways. Okay na?